Coming up on UCF Nightly News, students are reacting to the massacre in Kenya after terrorists killed more than 70 people in a mall this week. We'll tell you more about how students are reacting to the violence. Plus, President Hitt announced a new plan he says will bring some of Florida's highest achievers to UCF. Find out what he said in his State of the University address and how it could mean less stress for some incoming students.
And it's that time again. Students elected their new SGA senators this week. We spoke to candidates about their platforms and found out why students took the time to vote. Nightly News starts now.
Good afternoon and welcome to UCF Nightly News. I'm Kat Page.
And I'm Noe Pickrell. Today is September 27th, 2013.
Kenyans are mourning after a terrorist attack at the Westgate Mall in Nairobi. New video released by the Kenyan government shows the full extent of the destruction. 3 floors collapsed after a fire and series of explosions crippled the shopping complex. Forensic teams from the United States and Europe joined the investigation, and the attacks resulted in more than 60 deaths and another 60 civilians are still unaccounted for. Here on campus, UCF student Mark Don reacts to the massacre.
Terrorist attacks are unpredictable and are getting very popular nowadays. So it's kind of nowhere's really safe, no matter how safe it's safe. Security makes it or anyone makes it.
UCF President John Hitt shared his vision for the university's future on Tuesday. Nightly News reporter Caitlin Channa joins me at the desk to explain how a new plan will impact students. Caitlin?
Thanks, Kat. For more than 5 decades, UCF has broken records, and now we are the first university in Florida to adopt a new enrollment program. President Hitt told me about this plan, and he says the ACT and SAT exams are not a direct representation of high school students' academic success.
A lot of people learn differently, and their tests don't necessarily determine how their intelligence is. In high school, the most important thing was what college you were going to go to.
So what we'll say is if you've been in the top 10% of your graduating class in high school, come on in.
At the annual State of the University address, UCF President John Hitt explained,
I'm pleased to announce a new admissions program that will provide access to UCF for top high school students throughout Florida.
The program is called Top 10 Nights, which is aimed at Florida high school students with top-notch transcripts who may only have so-so scores on their ACT or SAT.
GPA follows you, shows all the classes that you've taken and all the hard work that you've put in.
School grades, because school grades are something you do, every day in a year, not just one day.
We'll rely more on that performance in school.
Hitt believes that a student's academic performance over a 4-year period is more important than one standardized test. Many UCF students like this change.
Personally, I am horrible at standardized testing and test taking. I have great grades. I was in the top 10% of my school.
Those people who are top 10, they did something to get ahead, so obviously they really care about their education.
Any student who's in the top 10% of his graduating class, we won't give the importance to the SAT or ACT score.
This new admissions program will be implemented in fall 2014.
Go Knights!
Hitt also says Top 10 Nights will guarantee high-achieving homeschool students admissions to UCF. Well, Kat, I definitely agree that this will be a great program for incoming freshmen.
I think so too, Caitlin. But not everyone was thrilled with President Hitt's speech. Standing in the back of the Pegasus Ballroom holding signs high in the air, members of UCF's Student Labor Action Project made their presence known on Tuesday. The group fights to eliminate social and economic injustices on campuses across America. Members attended the speech to protest employee parking fees. The group hopes to convince UCF officials to either lower the price of parking or make it completely free. UCF officials released a statement saying employees pay to park at many workplaces and that it's a common practice. And some new senators are taking office this week after UCF held its annual Student Government Senate elections. Our very own Mark Rosal spoke with SGA members and students about why it's so important to vote.
Another Senate race here at UCF. Each fall semester, the SGA Senate Committee is voted on by students to represent each college or satellite campus for UCF.
I voted because I feel that it is our civil duty to do such a thing.
The SGA Senate is responsible for many of the activities UCF offers its students during the year. Students voted for the Senate candidates at the different voting stations located around campus. The ballot had the name of all candidates. There are 59 seats open for election this year with 74 students running. Supervisor of Elections Katie Andriotis says there is one representative for every 1,000 students in each college.
Voting is so important because these representatives seriously represent the entire school. Like whether it's on, the student opinion, we send resolutions to President Hitt, to our administration, to legislators, to other universities, and so it's so important to have their voice heard.
William Liplet explains why he voted.
And I just like to be involved in what's going on at my campus. Also, I have a couple of friends who are on the ballots.
The election results were announced Wednesday night. 7 Senate seats still remain empty after the voting closed. In Orlando, Mark Rosel, UCF Nightly News.
To find out who's elected for your college, go to nightlynews.ucf.edu.
Speaking of voting, Tuesday marked National Voter Registration Day. Students from one UCF class say a speech from a member of the League of Women Voters is inspiring them to vote. Ann Helmuth represents the Orange County chapter of the LWV. She spoke to a news reporting class about the latest voting changes in Orange County. Helmuth also spoke about the importance of voter registration and women's pay. The League of Women Voters is working on expanding voting locations in Orange County for future elections. Helmuth gave some advice on why it's so important for students to vote.
You can't moan about things if you haven't done anything to correct them or to be part of it, the process. And it's a really interesting process. I think it expands the mind. Certainly it's an intellectual challenge.
Orange County Sheriff's officials say crimes have gone down since last year in the area surrounding UCF. But the UCF police say crimes on campus have gone up. The Uniform Crime Report shows sexual crimes have gone up more than 40% from 2011 to 2012. With this rising number, students are worried about their safety. We spoke with multiple students who say they're starting to wonder if police patrols are enough to ensure their protection. Some students use the school safety escort patrol service for rides after dark. SEPS is a free service that picks students up from anywhere on campus and drops them off to another location on campus like a parking garage.
Kat, I know there are times when I really worry about my safety. How do you feel about it?
I think so too, Noe. I know I use SEPS for rides all the time. And now it's time for a look at our weather. Kenny Morales is joining us. How's it looking out there, Kenny?
Thanks, Kat. Well, it's actually clearing up a little bit today. We've been dealing with a lot of showers lately the past few days. And actually, when I walked in this morning, it was a little shower as well. But luckily, it's starting to clear up. Right now, we're hanging at about an 82 degrees. Humidity at about 62%, so it's a little sticky out there, but not too bad. Partly cloudy skies. Later on tonight, it'll probably be a low around 70 degrees. Slight chance of showers, but hopefully we should enjoy some clear skies later tonight. I'll have more on that later on in the show with our 5-day forecast.
Still ahead on Nightly News, more and more students are bringing laptops to class, but after the cost of tuition and textbooks, some students can't afford to buy computers. We'll tell you about a new plan that can make it easier for students to get so much needed technology.
Employers are getting creative when it comes to checking your resumes. Find out how career service officials suggest you write your resume. students may soon be able to use their financial aid to buy a laptop. Nightly News reporter Simone Davis tells us how the Tech Center hopes their new proposal will make college expenses a little easier for students.
UCF senior Natalie Ascura visits the library at least once or twice a day. However, it's not by choice. Natalie doesn't have a laptop and doesn't see herself purchasing one anytime soon.
I have to buy a charger and a battery for the computer I have, and I feel like altogether it's going to come out being a little bit less than a new computer would be.
Director of the UCF Technology Product Center, Joe Radich, says he sees several students who are in Natalie's position.
Well, like I said, every year we have students coming in, and there were enough students to actually warn us going, all right, you know what, this is an issue, we need to address this.
Which is why the Tech Center decided to release a survey asking about the possibility of using financial aid to purchase technology like laptops and tablets.
We had over 1,700 students come and fill out the survey. 90% of those students, actually 91% of those students, said that they felt that there was a need for technology and technology items for the classroom.
Radich says this new project will be an extension of the textbook opt-in program, which allows students to use up to $600 of their financial aid money toward textbooks. As Kura says, she would consider using her financial aid toward technology as long as it's reasonable.
I think that it's a good concept, but the only thing that would worry me is how much the price would be.
Radich says the Tech Center is waiting for approval from the financial aid department before they set a start date. In Orlando, Simone Davis, UCF Nightly News.
At the UCF Technology Product Center, prices for laptops start at about $500. To find out more on the Technology Center and its services, go to nightlynews.ucf.edu. Can your resume land you a dream job? Career service officials say you may not have the right words on your resume to secure that job. I spoke with experts who told me what information you need on your resume.
When thinking about graduation, many students may not be as prepared as they think. Asking around campus how they are preparing to apply for jobs, many had a general idea about what should be on your resume.
Internships or clubs that you are involved with on campus.
I mean, your best bet is to tailor your resume for the position that you actually want.
But career service officials at UCF explain that now resumes are often being reviewed by software. And because the software only looks for keywords and puts no human emotion into the selection, students may be at a disadvantage. UCF Career Development Coordinator Laura Crouch advises students to tweak their resumes to make it more appealing to the software.
Take that job description of what you're applying for and use those same words right back in your resume. So you're not going to have just one resume that's going to be the same every single time you apply for a job. You have to tailor it and customize it to that job. And it takes time and it's a pain, but it's going to really help you get that position.
Career Services offers students workshops on how to brand yourselves for a successful career.
For more on how to build your resume, check out nightlynews.ucf.edu.
And if you ever wondered who cares about you, UCF does. UCF Cares held its first workshop on Wednesday. The group is part of an initiative involving multiple organizations around campus. The focus of this action is to teach students how to notice and address signs that friends may be struggling with here at UCF. Students worked through real-life scenarios where friends struggle with different issues, such as depression, binge drinking, and other harmful activities. They learned the proper etiquette for speaking to students who may be in dangerous or traumatic situations. And the group holds to hold other events throughout the semester with giveaways and other information to let students know what options they have for help on campus. And speaking of resources, UCF also wants to educate students on all the services the student union offers. On Tuesday, Student Government Association hosted an open house event to promote facilities like Pride Commons. The open house was held at the all-night study building at Knights Plaza. Students lined up at event tables to enjoy free Chick-fil-A and energy drinks. SGA representatives say the open house event will make students more aware of university services. Still ahead, Nightly News has the scoop on the One Republic concert that was announced this week. Find out when the rock band will be coming to the CFE Arena and how you can get your free tickets.
Some local news personalities made a visit to UCF this week. Find out what they said about UCF and how they have ties to our very own studio. And when we come back, Kenny Morales tells us what kind of weather to expect for the next few days. Nightly News has the date of the One Republic concert previously announced by the Campus Activity Board. The CAB concert director Omar Padilla tells us when the rock band will be performing.
To wear gold to the game, Gold Rush, there's an event on Facebook if anyone wants to join it, but just to bring you, unite the students on a very important game day, everyone should wear gold.
The band will be performing in the CFE Arena. There's no admission fee for students, but only one ticket per person will be allowed. In order to get a ticket, Padilla says you must have a valid UCF ID. Tickets will be distributed starting Monday, September 30th at 11 a.m. at the Office of Student Involvement's front desk.
Dozens of people lined up on Wednesday to celebrate UCF's 50th year anniversary. Some students stood in line for more than 2 hours for a chance to spin a wheel and win a number of UCF-themed prizes, ranging from shirts and cups to game day parking passes. The event was held to promote the upcoming football game against South Carolina and the launch of SGA's 50 Years of Tradition Challenge. Caitlin Burns, marketing coordinator for the Student Union, says they're also promoting a gold rush for this Saturday's game. Anchors from Fox 35's Good Day Orlando paid a visit to UCF this week as part of their college road trip. Simone Davis was at the Reflection Pond this morning, and she tells us a little more about their visit.
Hey guys, right now I'm at the Reflection Pond, and you're probably wondering, what is this all going on behind me? Well, Fox 35's morning show, Good Day Orlando, is right here filming their show. If you could take a look, you can see the band, you see the cheerleaders, you can see the whole crew, and you can also see anchors John Brown and Amy Caldfeld. Now they're here, part of their campus tour. Let's take a closer look at the action.
It's nice to be back in the Florida school scene because I think we have the best universities ever here in the Sunshine State.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that little sneak peek of what goes on behind the scenes in news. Next week, Good Day Orlando is going to be at Rollins College to continue their campus tour. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that, Simone. And Fox 35 will also continue their coverage of UCF's big game tomorrow against South Carolina. Now let's send it over to Kenny Morales with a look at the weather forecast. How's it looking out there, Kenny?
Thanks, Kat. Well, right now, I told you about the showers earlier on we had in the week, but looks like we'll be having some sunny skies for Saturday's big game against South Carolina. As we take a look at our state temperature map over here in Tallahassee, hanging around about 81 degrees for now. Over in Jacksonville, about 79, high 70s. We go down here Central Florida, we're about low 80s, 82 degrees. Head over a little bit west to Tampa, we're about 83. Down in through the 305 here in Miami, about 88 degrees. And now we can go ahead and take a look at our national weather map. You see, mostly we're heading into the fall season right now, so obviously in New England we're heading a little bit more cool weather, but unfortunately for us we're going to deal with a little more heat for the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we'll be able to get some cooler weather later on in the month, maybe early November. As you see, of course, in the northwest, we're also dealing with some cooler temperatures. Heading down in the south, also remaining a little bit cooler than what we're doing. And now we can go ahead and take a look at our national weather map as well. You can see some severe thunderstorms heading in the Midwest area, almost more near Tennessee. Southeast, we had some showers, but they were ahead, and we are moving on forward with now sunny skies looking forward to for us. Down in the west area, we also have some lows, probably bring some extra thunderstorms, maybe some other showers as well. But for us, it looks like we are mostly going to deal with some sunny skies for the next 3 or 4 or 5 days. Now we can go ahead and take a look at our 5-day forecast. You can see on Friday, we're not dealing with too bad. For most week, we're dealing with some partly cloudy skies. Friday, high of 87, low temperature around 70 with a chance of rain 20%. Saturday, same deal. We have 88 degrees for the high, low of 71. And then Sunday through Tuesday, it's Fair skies, no clouds whatsoever. Highs in the high 80s, 87 for Sunday, low 71 with a 30% chance of rain. Monday, you're looking at about a high of 89 with a low of 76 with only about a 40% chance of rain. And then on Tuesday, we're looking at about a high of 89 as well with a low of 71, only a 20% chance of rain. So it looks like we'll actually be able to enjoy some sunny weather again here in the Sunshine State. Let's throw it back to Kat and Noe on the desk.
Still ahead on Nightly News, it's a big week for UCF sports. Knights football faces 12th-ranked University of South Carolina during Parents and Family Weekend. Mark Rosel tells us more about the matchup after this break. Sports is up next.
Knights fans to your UCF Sports Update. I'm Mark Rosel. Knights football is set to play arguably its biggest game ever coming off a bye week. Let's hope the break gave their armor vitality instead of rust. The Knights hosting number 12 South Carolina Saturday afternoon. UCF goes into Saturday's epic matchup with a 3-0 record for the first time since 1988 when the Knights went 5-0. It'll be the first time these two teams have played in the Dungeon. The Knights play the game during Parents and Family Weekend at UCF. Tickets are already sold out, but Coach O'Leary says the real power will be in the student section.
Home field advantage, I think, in college football is a big deal because of the noise. It was, I thought, up at Penn State. I'm glad we had that noise all week as far as in the players' ear because I think it made a difference in the game. But again, that's what college football is all about. Eventually, that's what you'd like to see every weekend.
Kickoff for the game is at noon. It will be televised nationally on ABC. Be sure to make it early as students will have to wait in line to get in. First 10,000 students will get a seat. If you're worried about not being able to get into the big football game, you might be in luck. UCF soccer and volleyball are both playing tonight against USF's teams and giving away early entry passes to the first 1,000 students in line at each game. Knights soccer plays USF at 6 p.m. Gates will open at 5 p.m. and Knights volleyball plays at 8 p.m. The venue at UCF opens at 7 p.m., so be sure to get in line early and support those teams. UCF guard Isaiah Sykes is eyeing some pretty big records this season in his senior season, looking to launch himself into NBA draft status. Sykes has 4 10 UCF records already in his sights and 2 more in the top 20. With at least 30 games to move up the list, Knights fans should expect to see some records broken. Sykes is currently top 10 in career rebounds in both D1 and all-time, free throw attempts and steals. He's also in top 20 in free throw completions, points, and assists. He has 231 career assists, needing only 13 to enter the UCF top 10 in that category as well. That's all the time we have for sports. Let's kick it back to Kat, Noe, and Kenny at the desk.
Thanks for that, Mark. Well, I'm really excited to see how the game turns out, Noe.
You know, this is going to be the biggest game in UCF history. What do you think?
I'm actually really excited. With the weather tomorrow, about a high of 88, I think that's going to work in our favor. Our Knights are used to the heat. I think it'll play in our favor. I think South Carolina is going to get tired, and I think we'll be able to come out with a win.
That's all the time we have for now. Thanks for joining us. Have a good evening.